Hello, everyone. Welcome to the World Tapping Circle. I'm your host, Sonya Sophia, and you are here in the World Tapping Circle, taking space for yourself, helping yourself ground and center and clear the clutter so you can come in strong and go the distance. So thank you so much for taking time for you. Each one of us matters, and what we do matters. And the better you feel and the more stable you are, the more it helps the world feel better and become a more stable, happy, loving place. So thank you for doing your part for your own enjoyment. If you're here for the first time, please let us know. Signal in the chat if you're live with us that it's your first time so we can give you some extra special care. All you old timers who've been tapping with us for years, welcome back to Circle. Really happy that this is a part of your day. And for those of you beaming into the future who I haven't met yet and you found this video in the library, I see you, I feel you, I'm with you. I'm glad you're here. Thus, I will let all of you who are using this for the first time know that EFT can feel kind of intense, but I've seen amazing results for everyone who sticks with it. So the intense part can be that you're actually defrosting stored, stuck feelings from your body, and you're somatically processing them. So as you're tapping, you're literally having access to places inside you that you haven't had access to. And as that energy is discharging from your body, you might find that that stored stress comes out in yawning, crying, laughing, tingling, sudden flashes, sudden realizations, memories coming back to you that were the underlying events around where you got stuck. And all of this will calm down and smooth out as you continue to go. So you just need to remember to tap and breathe. And if this is a video and you're watching and you need to stop it and pause, that's totally fine. To take care of yourself and then start it again so you can move at the pace that works well for you. All right, so we're going to take 5 minutes to jump into the core causes, which is a quick way for you to check in with yourself about what you want to tap on and what may be the underlying events that have led up to this issue. So we're going to do the core causes questions. You're going to see a way to click and do that live with us. Those answers are just for you. And otherwise, we're going to screen share for those who are watching in the replay video library, and I'll see you guys in 5. Hi everyone, welcome back. Hopefully you just learned a lot and you have some clues about what to do next. So now we're going to do some tapping. So today's theme is about bringing in bounties. So the question I pose to you is, what are you wanting more of right now? Where do you feel there's some sort of struggle and strife? Do you need more money? Do you need more love? Do you need more support? Do you need more friends? What is it that you need more of? Maybe you're like, I need all of those things. Pick one area, and you've got that locked in, but where are you struggling because there's not enough? Big deep breath. Even though there's a part of me that's struggling, and repeat that after me, even though there's a part of me that's struggling right now, I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the eyebrows, this part of me. Tapping the temples, that's really struggling. Tapping the cheeks, this part of me that's feeling a lack. Tapping under the nose. Big deep breath, and just tuning into that place inside you that's struggling with whatever your issue is. And tapping under the lips, and let yourself notice the struggle that you're actually having for just a few seconds. And tapping your chest. I accept this part of me even though it's really annoying. And when I focus on it, it's overwhelming. Tapping down the chest to the front of the ribs. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even though I don't like this experience. Tapping the side of the ribs and just tuning in for a second in how much you do not like this struggle that you're in. And tapping the inside of the wrist. There's a part of me that's having a really hard time. Big deep breath, and just notice that feeling. Where do you feel that in your body when you acknowledge that this is a hard time for you? Tapping the side of the thumb. I love and respect myself. If that's too hard to say, I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tap the index finger, even if I'm judging myself for this struggle that I'm in. Tap the middle finger and breathe. And tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm open to deeply and completely releasing myself from this feeling of, and then talk about that for a second. What is it? Maybe you don't feel frustrated. Maybe you feel devastated. Maybe you feel numb. Maybe you feel like you're out of your body. Tap your little finger. I'm open to acknowledging that I feel, and then say that again. And tap the side of your hand. I accept the part of me that doesn't want to deal with this right now. Tapping the top of the head. I accept the part of me that wants to keep denying that this is even a problem. Tapping the sides of the head and the back of the head. Tapping the eyebrows. I accept the part of me. Tap the temples. That's just wanting to feel better. Tapping the cheeks to get this handled. Tapping under the nose. I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tapping under the lips. I'm allowing myself to process what's underneath this. Tapping the chest, including things that I may accidentally have done to create this. Tapping down into the chest, tuning in. So we know that life throws us a lot of stuff. There may be other people involved, but just for a second, let's look at our part. What is the part that you've played in either exacerbating it or continuing it or actually creating it through your own clever self-sabotage? And just acknowledge that out loud for 30 seconds. And tapping down to the front of the ribs. I'm open to the possibility of facing the part of this that is mine. Tap the side of the ribs, even though it's uncomfortable. And part of me might feel ashamed or embarrassed. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm struggling, and some of this I've had a hand in. Tap the index finger. There's a part of me that can't stop doing what? What is it that you're having a hard time stopping doing, that if you stopped doing, it would make things better? Tap the middle finger. Even though there's a part of me that has a hard time stopping, and say it again. Maybe it's spending all my money, or it's worrying about this or that, or pushing people away, whatever that is. Let's repeat that 4 or 5 times. Tapping the bottom of the 4th finger. There's a part of me that can't stop what? Tapping the little finger. Part of me doesn't know how to stop. Say it again. Tapping the side of the hand. I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tapping the top of the head, even if there's a part of me that doesn't know how to stop doing this. Tapping behind the ears and the back of the skull. Just opening your heart with some compassion to this part of you, big or small, that is making things a little bit worse by not getting into alignment with another part of you that's ready for some bounty. Tapping the eyebrows and breathe. Tapping the temples. I accept the way that I've been participating. Tap the cheeks in this struggle. In prolonging this struggle. Tapping under the nose. Why am I prolonging this struggle in this way? Tapping under the lips. And go ahead and just pop out whatever answer is there. I'm going to ask you 3 or 4 times, and you're going to answer that over and over. It might be the same answer. It might be a variety of answers. Just stream of consciousness, first thought. Tapping your chest. Why am I prolonging this struggle? Tapping the front of the ribs. Why am I prolonging this struggle? Filling in that blank, answering that question. Tapping the side of the rib cage. Why am I prolonging this? And tapping the inside of the wrist. One more time. Why do I keep prolonging this? Tap the side of the thumb. I notice what I'm really afraid of is, what's the answer? Tap the index finger and breathe. Wow, I notice what I'm really afraid of is, say it again. Tap the middle finger. What would happen if I was no longer really afraid of that? Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. What would happen if I was no longer afraid? What's the answer? Tap the little finger. I accept this part of me that's afraid of not being afraid anymore. Isn't that funny? Tap the side of the hand. I accept the part of me that's afraid of not being afraid anymore. Tapping the top of the head, because if I wasn't afraid and I let myself come into alignment and bring in what I'm missing, then I would have to do what? Busted. Tap the eyebrows. Then I would have to, say it again, what do you realize you would have to do? If you were no longer afraid and you gave yourself permission to bring in what you need. There it is. Tap the cheeks. I'm open to loving and trusting myself. Tapping under the nose, allowing myself to relax inside. Tapping under the lips to let go of this old pattern. Tapping the chest to come into alignment with this new level of wealth. What is it that you want to feel rich in? Is it rich in finances, rich in personal time, rich in connection to others, rich in love? Tapping the front of the ribs, I'm bringing this new level of abundance and prosperity, letting myself have what I need. Tap the side of the ribs, feeling fulfilled. Tap the inside of the wrist, even though I'm so used to the struggle, going it alone, and this suffering. Tap the side of the thumb. Big deep breath, just giving empathy again to the part of the nervous system that's conditioned and habituated to do without, to feel like you don't have enough. Tapping the index finger. So let's go back into our history. Who in your family modeled this kind of struggle? Who in the people that raised you modeled this kind of struggle? Tap the middle finger and breathe. I'm open to loving and selecting myself to move this pattern out of the family line. Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm open to forgiving, and let's talk about who we might want to forgive for modeling this pattern of struggle and strife. I'm open to forgiving my mother. Tap the little finger. I'm open to forgiving my mother. Tap the side of the hand, forgiving mom for modeling this to me. Tap the top of the head and breathe. Tapping the eyebrows, I'm open to forgiving my father. Tune in and see if your dad modeled it, maybe in a different way. Maybe it was the exact way you're going through. Tapping the cheeks. I'm open to forgiving my father. Tapping under the nose. For not figuring this one out. Tapping under the lips, sending empathy and compassion back to your father. Tapping your chest. And breathing, tapping the front of the ribs. I'm forgiving both my parents for whatever part they played. Tap the side of the ribs, including, and here's where you get to describe what you've noticed, how they may have played a part in this. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I'm open to loving and supporting myself. Tap the side of the thumb, releasing the things that I learned and accepted as normal. Tap the index finger, including what? What limiting belief did you inherit that has to do with this, that came from your family of origin? In other words, I picked up a sense of scarcity from my mother. Tapping the middle finger, let's repeat that again. What did you pick up? What did you learn? Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the little finger. Even though I picked up this, and again, we're describing this limiting belief that we picked up from our family of origin that's directly underneath this issue that you're struggling with. I picked up from who? What? Tap the side of the hand. For example, I picked up from my father an unwillingness to grow. Or I picked up from my mother a lack of trust. Tapping the top of the head. I'm giving myself permission to heal, to release these formative beliefs that have been shaping my life. Tapping the eyebrows, including what? Pick a belief and shout it out. Here we go, tapping the eyebrows. This belief, say it again. Tapping the cheeks, say it again. Tapping into the nose, saying this limiting belief one more time. And breathe. Tapping under the lips. Where do you feel that in your body? Where do you feel this contraction in your body where this information is actually being stored biologically in your body? I feel it in my solar plexus, or I feel it in my throat. Maybe you feel it as a fog in your head. Tapping the front of the ribs. I don't have to carry on the old family tradition anymore. Tap the side of the ribs. It's not helping them. It's certainly not helping me. Tapping inside of the wrist. Let's switch hands. I'm allowing myself to thrive, to generate and appreciate the bounty and abundance that they struggled to get and maybe never secured. Tapping the side of the thumb. I give myself permission to release the fear encoded in that generation. That became part of me. Tap the index finger, tuning in again to that fear that became a part of your makeup. This was never mine. Tap the middle finger, and I don't have to carry it in order to honor my parents and their struggle. So tuning in for a second, is it okay for you to do better than your parents did? Notice and see if there's any part of you that's like, oh, that would be disrespectful, or not while they're alive. I don't want to show them up. I don't want to make them feel bad. We have this weird way of honoring the people that we, owe something to. Sort of trying to stay beneath them. But if your parents really love you, they're going to want you to do better than they did. They're going to push you up on their shoulders and say, go, baby, go. Tap the little finger. They want to see you do better with the foundation that they gave you. Tap the side of the hand. I give myself permission to grow and excel. This is what honors my elders. Tap the top of the head. This is what honors my parents and my grandparents. Tapping the eyebrows. I give myself permission to receive. Tap the temples and to generate. Tap the cheeks. What is it that you're receiving and generating for yourself? Tapping into the nose. Say it again. I am creating what? Tapping into the lips. Coming into alignment with this. Tapping the chest. Releasing any sense of disrespect or guilt for doing better than their generation did. Tap the front of the ribs. I don't have to limit myself in order to make them happy. Tap the side of the ribs. I'm allowing myself to receive, and say again what you're creating for yourself. Tap the inside of the wrist. Even though it's scary to release my fears and beliefs that have manifested this struggle. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm open to loving and trusting myself. Tapping the index finger, I give myself permission to relax, to unwind. Tap the middle finger and breathe. And to release this feeling of, and then talk about for another minute what negative feelings you have surrounding your issue. Maybe you have exhaustion. Maybe you have grief. Maybe you have anger. So let's talk about those for a minute. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. We're going to call them feeling 1, feeling 2, and feeling 3. So the first negative feeling that really comes up about your issue is what? Big breath. Say it again. Just name that feeling. Tap the little finger. This feeling of, say it again. Tapping the side of the hand. This feeling of, say it again. Tapping the top of the head. This feeling of, say it again. Sides of the head, back of the head, eyebrows. I'm open to loving and forgiving myself. Tap the temples for all the ways this feeling's been running me. Tap the cheeks. I accept this uncomfortable feeling of, big breath, opening your heart to this awkward feeling. There it is. Tapping into the nose, letting yourself feel it to completion. Tapping under the lips. Here it is. This feeling of, name it again, feeling number 1. Tapping the chest. I accept the part of me that's really uncomfortable here. Tapping the front of the ribs. I can't expect tapping on my ribs to totally disappear this feeling. Tap the side of the ribs and breathe. Tuning into that same feeling number 1, one more time, tapping the inside of the wrist, switching hands. I give myself permission to accept and release this remaining feeling of, and say that same feeling one more time. Tapping the side of the thumb, tuning in, seeing if you can still feel that feeling. And breathe. Are you feeling it diminishing? Releasing from your body? For some people, you might feel it increasing temporarily because you've been numb to it, which means it's been pegged out for a while, very high, and you may be defrosting. For others, you'll feel it starting to come down right now. Tapping the index finger. We're going to move on to feeling number 2, unless feeling number 1 is still really hot, and then you're going to stay on feeling 1 while we're talking about feeling 2. So tapping the middle finger. Even though I have a strong feeling of, name that second feeling. Maybe it's hopelessness. Maybe it's sleepiness. Maybe it's frustration. Tapping the bottom of the 4th finger. I love and forgive myself. Tapping your little finger. It's totally understandable why I feel this way. Tapping the side of the hand. It's totally understandable why I feel like this. Big breath. Tapping the top of the head. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even with this intense feeling of. Tapping the sides of the head, the back of the skull. Name that second feeling again. Tapping the eyebrows. I'm so used to feeling this way. Tapping the temples. This, and then say the feeling again. So if it was anger, you'd say this anger. Tapping the cheeks, say it again. This. Tapping into the nose. One more time. This. Tapping under the lips. One more time. Big breath. Tuning into that feeling. Acknowledging where it is in your body. Tapping the chest and breathing. Tapping the front of the ribs. I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tapping the side of the ribs, even if a part of me feels this way. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I accept this part of me that has this strong emotion of, and say that second feeling again. Tapping the side of the thumb and breathing. This remaining feeling of, name it again. Tapping the index finger and breathing. Tapping the middle finger, this remaining feeling of. Tapping the bottom of the 4th finger. I'm open to loving and honoring myself, even with this intense sensation of, and say that same feeling one more time, and breathe. Tapping the little finger and the side of the hand, tuning into that second feeling, seeing if you can still feel it. What are we talking about? We're talking about negative feelings surrounding your issue. Tuning into that feeling. I feel what? About, and then say your issue. Tapping the top of the head. I accept this part of me that's justified in feeling this way. Big breath. Be your own best friend for a second. Acknowledging and supporting this part of you. Tapping the eyebrows. Tapping the temples. I'm open to releasing this old stored stress. Tapping the cheeks. No matter how long it's been here. Tapping under the nose. How long has this issue been present for you? Tapping under the lips. I think I felt someone say, my whole life. Tap the chest. I accept this part of me that's been feeling this way for such a long time. Tapping the front of the ribs. I'm open to releasing these trapped emotions, the beliefs and memories that are behind them. Tapping the side of the ribs. Including the memory of, now this is a point when you can pop a memory out that may have something to do with your issue. Tapping the inside of the wrist, and then we'll do feeling number 3 after that. So tapping the inside of the wrist. There was a time when I was how old, approximately? Remembering back as you tap the inside of the wrist and breathe. Tapping the side of the thumb. When what was happening? Tap the index finger, thinking about the situation. And what exactly happened to you? What were you told, or who smacked you, or how were you made to feel? And tapping the middle finger. I accept this part of me that is still trying to get over that. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. And this part of me has been waiting for acknowledgement. Big deep breath. Tapping the little finger. I'm back to acknowledge this part of me that didn't have a voice, didn't have a choice. Tapping the side of the hand. This part of me deserves support. Big breath. This part of me deserves support and understanding. Tapping the top of the head. It's okay for me to heal what happened now. This is a good one for me. It's making me cough. Keep drinking the water. Tapping the top of the head. It's okay for me to finally acknowledge how I felt. I'm being understood and appreciated. Tapping the sides of the head and the back of the head. I want you to take this adult self of yours and bring it back in time to take care of this younger version of you. Tapping the temples. What did that younger version of you need? Tapping the cheeks. Give that to your younger self, either through a feeling that you're sending into that younger self or some words like, hey, you are worthy of love. You are going to have all your needs met. Letting that younger self know that it was good and right, that it needed love and help. Tapping the front of the ribs. Talking to that younger self again. It's okay for you to finally relax and let go. And say to that younger version, I've got you. Tap the side of the ribs. I'm sorry it took me so long to find you. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I'm here for you. And it was really unfair. Tap the side of the thumb. You didn't deserve that. Big deep breath. Tapping the index finger. Telling that younger version of you, we're not going to let that happen again. Tap the middle finger. Big deep breath, sending so much love and understanding back to this littler you. Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. It's okay to let go of this deep belief. Wow. It's a big one. I'm processing right along with y'all. Y'all, I need a cough drop. Just a second. Really, keep tapping. Seriously, right? You gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, it's a big deal. I'm working it out too. I'm giving this younger version of me the support that was missing. Big deep breath. Tapping the little finger. It's okay for this part of me to fully recover. And tapping the side of the hand. I love and respect myself, even if I'm still struggling here. And name your struggle that you know is related to this. And breathe. Tapping the top of the head. Sending one more big, huge wave of love to this younger you that got kind of stuck, kind of freaked out, traumatized, shut down. Tapping the eyebrows. I'm letting this struggle be over now. Tapping the temples. I'm letting myself know that I make it safely through. Tap the cheeks. That I'm allowing myself to have plenty of what I need. Tapping it under the nose. Fill in the blank for what that means for you. Letting yourself have plenty of financial resources, letting yourself have plenty of love and friendship. Tapping the side, the front of your chest. I'm going to spit this cough drop out now. Tapping the front of the chest, letting myself have plenty. Tapping the front of the ribs. I love and encourage myself. Tapping the side of the ribs. I have made it through. Tapping the inside of the wrist, and I'm letting this part of me catch up. Tap the side of the thumb. I don't have to keep responding to that event like I did when I was how old? 4 years old, 5 years old. And breathe. Tapping the index finger. We're going to go back to feeling number 3. So hang on, here we go. Even though I still have, and what is the third strong negative feeling that's associated with your issue? Tap the middle finger. It's okay. Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. Just opening your heart with some empathy and acceptance for this part of you. Tapping the little finger. I accept this part of me that feels stuck, has been struggling and hiding. Tap the side of the hand. This remaining feeling of, say it again, tapping the top of the head. This remaining feeling of, say it again, tapping the eyebrows. This remaining feeling of, say it again with some enthusiasm here. Tapping the temples. I love and accept myself. Tapping the cheeks, even if, tapping under the nose, a part of me doesn't want to let this feeling go. Tapping under the lips, because if I had all my energy back, tap the chest, and I was no longer feeling stuck in this. Tapping the front of the ribs. What do you think you'd be able to do? Tapping the side of the ribs. Yeah. And then what? Well, that's a lot. Yeah. Then I would get to or have to do what? Big deep breath. Tapping the side of the thumb. It's okay. I accept the part of me that's afraid to have that much more energy. Tap the index finger that much more time. Tap the middle finger that much more ability to focus. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger that much more money. Tapping the little finger, I'm allowing myself the possibility of receiving and generating and prospering in this area of my life. And let's talk about what area we're focusing this on again. Big, noisy breath. Tapping the top of the head. I'm giving myself permission to open up here, to release the withhold. Tapping the eyebrows, giving myself permission to feel bounty. Tap the temples to feel like there's plenty and to know that there's plenty. Tap the cheeks to feel that peace and security. Yeah, feels good. Tapping under the nose. Let's imagine that somehow this tap and the other things that you're doing in your life miraculously clear this issue for you. Tapping under the lips. What would it be like to be living free of this? Tap your chest and describe for 1 minute all the good things that would happen and how you would feel and what you would do. I'm tapping down to the front of the ribs. Keep talking. I'm tapping the side of the ribs, nodding your head up and down, getting your body into alignment with this vision. I am giving myself permission. I'm tapping the inside of the wrist. I'm allowing this to open up naturally and spontaneously. Tap the side of the thumb, even if I'm afraid and I'm still resisting to some degree. Big deep breath, tuning into any remaining resistance you have and having this goodness. Maybe people would treat you differently. Maybe you would lose some friends and gain some new friends. Maybe it would change the way you're living or the way you look. Maybe it would open up a whole nother level of responsibility because you'd have the support to take things to the next level. I'm tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm allowing myself to come into alignment, even if I still have hours of tapping to do here. Check in and see. If, let's say you have to do 6 more hours of tapping around this subject in different areas, different angles, different memories. Would it be worth it to you if it really created this bounty for you? Then you had to put 6 hours of work into it. Yeah. Certainly is. And do you think that would affect other people's lives in a positive way as well? This issue resolving for you, having that future that you just imagined, would it be good for the people that love you or rely on you? Yes. Yes. Okay. Tapping the side of the hand. I'm giving myself permission to completely come into alignment. Even if there's still more work to be done here, I'm doing it now. I'm going to keep moving this because I deserve to have what's coming. And I refuse to stand in the way of this with my fears and my conditioning. Tap the top of the head. Get feisty with your good self. Giving myself permission to open up this bounty, even if it's still scary. Tap the eyebrows. Even if I don't know how. Tap the temples. Even if it changes everything. Oh, breathe. Tapping the cheeks. I'm growing. Tapping under the nose. And I'm allowing myself to feel blessed. Tapping under the lips. To feel bountiful. Tap the chest. To give to myself and to others. Tapping the front of the ribs. I'm creating this goodness. Tap the side of the ribs. I'm allowing myself to feel worthy and to hold this vision for myself. Tapping the inside of the wrist to stay aligned. Tap the side of the thumb to come back into alignment again and again. Tap the index finger to allow this to naturally happen. Tap the middle finger. What else do you want to tell yourself? Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. This is where you get to ad lib. What else do you want to tell yourself here? Little finger, I'm encouraging myself to stay with it. Tap the side of the hand to grow beyond what I thought was possible. And tap the top of the head. I'm creating faith and trust in myself. And I'm calling on the universe to support and guide me. Tapping all over the body. Give yourself some loving words of support and encouragement. Good job, Sonya. I love you. Thank you for doing what you do. What are you going to say to you? Now check in and see how you're feeling. Notice how you felt at the beginning when you picked an issue and how intense it was, and go ahead and put in the chat where it is now. What did the intensity level turn into? And also, while you're chatting along with us, let us know what you're committed to. What are you committed to doing for yourself that will propel this new version of you forward? Because it's going to need a little bit of love and support, and there's something you can do or think or say that's going to help this grow. All right, sweet angels, thank you for your commitment to showing up for the circle, showing up for yourself, showing up for me. I wouldn't be here without you. So I love you so much, and you're only going to see the circle getting brighter and better as we continue to invest in upgrading all of our platforms. So let us know what you think. Love you so much, and we'll see you in the next circle.